Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. And this is my buddy Puccini, who's been hanging around with me this morning on my craft table. And we have a very fun card for you, a fun fold, using the By the Bay suite again. And I used this as a mystery stamping card with my team the other day, and I thought it would make a good video. It's kind of a fun card, but really pretty simple. So let's just get started. Here is my card, and it's a simple modified gatefold that is done like this with some decorations on the inside, as well as some stamping and some die cutting done on the inside. And what you need for this is a piece that is 8.5 by 5.5, and I don't have it scored at all because I'm going to show you how to score it and get a perfect close. Then I have a piece of white that is 4 by 5.25, and that's going to go on the inside of our card. Then I have these two pieces for the focal piece. This one is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So this one is 2.5 by 4 to fit just inside there. Then for our flaps on either side, I use some of the By the Bay designer series paper. I used this pattern and I used this pattern. And this pattern is very pretty. I hope you can see it on the video. It's pearlized. Some of the seashells are pearlized, so it's really pretty. So that's what I'm using, and we can just go ahead and get started. I've used one of those pearls that came with the suite in a little linen thread. And then instead of doing the stamping on the grass, I cut out a bird, big bird. I cut out a little bird. I stamped them in Night of Navy. And then I used, from the die set, I used some of the grass. So from the stamp set, the large bird in Night of Navy, one of the small birds in Night of Navy, and then the sand, which we're going to do, I think, in crumb cake. And then I think that might be all from here. And then in the dies, I did cut out my bird with the large die, and then there's a die that cuts out 3 of these little birds. There's the die that does the grass, and I did put a little shell in there, so I used the smallest of the shells. And I think that's all I used from there. And so I think on a little linen thread, so we're ready to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to score this so you get perfect closure on your card. Okay, so I'm going to take this card base and my trimmer, and I'm going to set this up so you can see it here on the top. And we're going to score this first piece at 1 3/4 of an inch. So score at 1 3/4, and that's all I'm going to use the trimmer to score. What we're going to do is show you how to fold it so that you get a perfect fit. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is fold this one in and go ahead and get our burnishing done here for that piece. And then instead of scoring this one at 6 inches, what I'm going to do is take this end and just butt it right up against this other piece, making sure to get that absolutely lined up top and bottom. And then I'm going to use my bone folder here, and I'm going to just push down across to get that first crease, and then I'm going to push up on that bone folder, and then I'm going to pull down on that bone folder. And what that does is you've butted it up against this so you have a perfect closure on your card. And so that is what I did, and you're guaranteed on these gatefold cards to get a perfect closure if you do that. Just score one side and then fit it to do the rest. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to put some of our paper on. So this piece of paper is going to go right on here, and I'm going to use my seal and put that piece of paper in place. Like I said, once you get your pieces cut, this is pretty fast and simple little card. And so when you put down a rectangle, particularly if it's a long one, if you turn your card so that the longest part of the rectangle is at the top, when you go to fit this in, what that allows you to do is to see all four sides at the same time as you get ready to put that down. So you can see that your margin is approximately the same all the way around before you commit to laying that down, and you've got the best chance of getting that on straight. So like that, and your piece is on straight. Now next, I need that other piece of paper that matches this, and we're going to put some seal on it and put it into place as well. So again, setting this way so that I can see all four sides at the same time. I can see this side, the top, the bottom, and the edge of this side, and I know I've got that straight. There we go. All right, now we're going to open it up and put our two pieces of paper that go on the inside. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my stamping. So we have this piece that we're going to do a little bit of stamping on, and this piece, and then we need to prepare our birds. I have my stamp for the sand and my crumb cake. I'm going to bring back our sample here for just a second so we can see exactly what we're doing. And I'm just going to put a little bit of sand down here at the bottom of our focal piece here. And with this one, we're going to maybe turn this sand around a couple different ways so we get the sand basically where we want it. In fact, I'm going to grab a little piece of scratch paper so I don't make a big mess on my big sheet, although I think it's too late for that already. And so there I've got some sand put on that bottom of there, and then on the inside you'll see that I put a little bit of sand across the bottom of this piece. And so I'm going to do that, put a little bit of sand right across here, turning my stamp around so that I get sand pretty much where I want it. And I think that's going to do it. There we've got some sand along the bottom and the edge, and that's all we need for that. Next, I'm going to color my birds, and I am patterning my coloring after the designer series paper that is in this set that shows these birds in navy with a little bit of peach and pool party on them. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I've got my light petal pink, I think that's what it is, yeah, my light petal pink, and I am going to just put a little bit of petal pink on my bird, maybe down here on his legs and on his beak, and just pick a couple spots where I might put a little bit of that. Then I'm going to, before I get any further, I'm going to use my blender pen, and I'm just going to move that night of navy around so I get more blue in spots there. And I think that helps our little guy look more complete. And then I have my Pool Party, and I'm just going to add some touches of this pretty blue on here. I love the way it dresses up his color just a little. And I should be using the other end here. I'm going to go over that just a little bit more and get a little bit more of that color there. There. And maybe right in here and right along the back. Then I'm going to do my little bird exactly the same way. And there we go. He's all done. Now then, for you is right here, and I did that in Night of Navy to match the rest on the card. And on this one, I'm going to move it a little further up. I liked it up a little bit further. And I'll show you another thing I'm changing. It makes it a little easier to make this. Let me find my little focal piece again here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put my For You further up here on the card, right across here. And there it is. All right, now what I did on this one, I wrapped the twine around both the navy piece and the white, and then when I turned it back over, I could see the twine back here, so I had to cut another little piece to slide in here to hide that. So on this one, what I'm going to do is add my twine just to the white card, and then it won't show on the back. There we go, that's a little bit better. All right, then I can wind it around and around and then have it be anchored on both ends. All right, then I'm just going to trim off this end here, and there's my linen thread and my message, and you can adjust the spacing on this once you kind of have it down, just to show that there's some linen thread on there. And then this piece is going to go on our blue, and I'm just going to add some seal to the back of this and put this piece in place as well. So on here, and then we have our birds to add here and our grass. Here are my grass pieces. And on this one, I put my grass pieces right down here where I stamped it. And on this one, I'm going to use my dot runner to just go ahead and add those pieces of grass down here on my focal point. So I'm going to put one all the way down here towards the bottom, and then I'm going to add this other one just right up underneath this one, maybe right up in here. And so I'm going to add some glue to the back of that, and I'm going to pick this up so I can set this one down right down here underneath and have the grass kind of coming up a little bit on that. All right, now this little bird I'm going to put down with just some glue flat on the cart, and then I'll raise the bird, the big bird. So I'm going to put this one right down here with his tail going off the white. And on this one, I'm just going to add a couple of dimensionals. I'm going to place my larger bird right up there. And there we have our focal piece done except for the pearl. ready to work on the inside. So I have one more little bird to color. I forgot this one. Okay, so we're ready for the inside here. And what we have is a couple more pieces of grass, which I'm going to do that same kind of thing. I think I'll put the upper one down first. And put it in place, I'll say right along there. And then put the second piece down. Right down there. So I've got my grass, and then I've got my little bird, which I'm going to put into place right down here on the inside. And then I've got one of these little white shells, and this little shell is cut out of shimmer paper. And then I think I have some Wink of Stella here to give that a little bit of shine. There we go. All right. And so that's got a little bit of sparkle. And as I recall, in the last one, I put a little bit of Wink down on the sand to give us a little bit of sparkle, and I'm going to do that again here. Just add little bits of sparkle like there is with the glass in the sand. Okay, so we're all ready to go, and I think we can put this together. So I've got our pieces here. Now, what we're going to do when we attach this one is we're only going to put dimensionals along this edge so that it'll stick to this side and it won't stick to the other side. And dimensionals will raise it a little bit, and then the bird is raised, and I think we're in pretty good shape. So let's just go ahead and put those pieces in place, and we'll be all ready to go. There's that white piece, and then we need, probably just some dimensional bones along this one edge. Put that in place. All right, there we go. And now it's nice and clean on the inside. Got decorations on the inside, and we just need a pearl to put on the top. Here are my pearls, flat-backed, adhesive-backed pearls. They're so pretty, iridescent, and just gorgeous. And I'm going to put one of the largest ones right on here. And I think that's enough to just dress it. So that is it. That is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, well, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Or you could join my team. It's always a good time to join Stampin' Up! The celebration is all done, and so is that most recent join offer. But the regular offer for joining is always $125 worth of product for $99, and then you start out with a 20% discount. So if you've got any curiosity about it, give me a holler, and I'd be happy to chat with you about it. Well, I have a $60 shopping spree on me drawing at the end of the month for anybody that's put orders in. And how you put yourself in the drawing is to place an order of any size on my store, lbedinger.stampinup.net, and you can get to it through my blog, www.inkangingenuity.com. That's it for me. I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!